mech warriors, and welcome back to the Mech Lab, where we try to be a better mech commander every day. In today's video, we will be discussing two of the most powerful technologies available in the Battletech universe: partial wing and improved jump jets, and specifically how they can break the game's battle value system when used in combination. As such, we'll be discussing two of the greatest Clan Jade Falcon mechs ever produced. And we'll start with the original partial wing mech, the Flamberg, and I specifically want to talk about the Flamberg 2. This 70-ton clan mech is incredibly agile, but only in the air. It is a little bit expensive at nearly 2,500 battle value, but its 467 movement profile allows it to make excellent use of its 7 jump jets to generate 4 TMM, and brings a blistering barrage of pulse lasers to offset the jumping penalties. It has excellent overall armor, with 20 or more on every location, and even has plentiful back armor, so if it gets outflanked, there's nothing to worry about. With 14 double heat sinks and the extra 3 heat sinking from partial wing, this unit is extremely heat efficient, able to jump and fire all of its pulse lasers without picking up any heat. Improved jump jets produce half the heat of normal jump jets, and their combination with partial wing allows heavier mechs to jump 7 even with a 4-6 movement profile. There are quite a few mechs that have a 5-8-7 movement profile with improved jump jets, but because the ground speed is 4-6, you're not paying any additional offensive or defensive battle value for the 5-8 movement profile. This makes 4-6-7 one of the most efficient movement profiles in the game if you just care about generating TMM, which a mech with a crap ton of pulse lasers absolutely will be doing every turn. In my last video, I said that the Black Python was among the most powerful clan mechs in the game. Its competition is pretty much the Flamberg 2. This is a much more specialized, close-range brawler that can use its excellent jump movement to generate more TMM and move in a slightly more flexible way than the Black Python can, although it can't move quite as fast over open terrain, meaning that it might not get to an objective as quickly if the battlefield is mostly flat open ground. And it will have a little bit more trouble catching smaller light mechs over such terrain as well. It also lacks the targeting computer, meaning that it's slightly less accurate overall, but it has a little more armor to offset the less internal structure that it has than the Black Python, and doesn't have heat sinking problems like the Black Python does. Now, the second mech that I want to talk about is the Jade Phoenix A, one of the only other mechs in the entire game to have a 4-6-7 movement profile. This mech will heat up a little bit if it jumps and fires all of its weapons, but still has pretty good heat sinking capability overall with 29 heat sinking, and is a lot tankier. This thing has over 25 armor on every location, still 10 on all of the rear torsos, 44 on the center torso, 36 on the legs. This is an incredibly hard mech to kill, but it is lacking in offensive power. An Ultra AC-20 is very strong, but with no targeting computer, this is going to be pretty inaccurate when you are jumping. So with this mech specifically, I would probably not jump every round. Since it has so much armor, it can afford to walk up to something and blast it with all of its weapons. Do some armor sharing for your team, take some hits here. Then after it's started taking a good amount of damage, maybe the torsos are starting to get thin, then you can start jumping all over the place and just using the pulse lasers mostly in order to keep it safe. So I would say the Flamberg is a little bit better at being an annoying flanking mech that can just really put out a lot of damage consistently while being very hard to hit, whereas the Jade Phoenix is more capable of filling that heavy or assault role. It gets in there, it shares some armor, and then it can start jumping around to keep itself safe while still doing a good amount of damage. That Ultra AC-20 especially, if you can get a good couple of hits off with that, that will be game-changing. The Jade Phoenix A is a little expensive at 2739 battle value, but really for what you get, that's not that much. That's about as much as you'd pay for a bigger clan assault mech with a lot more firepower, but they are not going to have nearly the mobility and staying power that this mech does. After extensively playing the Gargoyle J in a tournament, I can say that anything with 7 jump and plentiful armor is an absolute menace and pretty much impossible to deal deal with. It takes a very concentrated effort and or lots of pulse lasers in order to deal with a 7 jumping mech that is well armored. And both of the mechs that we've discussed today are as armored or more armored than the Gargoyle J. And they have pulse lasers, meaning that they're better at that jumping roll than the Gargoyle J is, although they are both quite a bit more expensive. So tell me which one you like better in the comments, and if there's any other great mechs that you want me to go over, feel free to leave a comment down there as well. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. It really helps out. Thanks for stopping by, Mech Warriors, and have a great day.